Welcome to BusyButHealthy.com, your no-nonsense source for keeping healthy, fit, and fabulous with your host, Kristine Fretwell.
Hello again. Thanks for joining me on another episode of Busy But Healthy, and I wanted to tell you all Merry Christmas. And I know that Christmas time can be really tough to stick to your diet plan, and there's lots of treats around, and people are constantly pushing all the bad food to you. But I do indeed like gingerbread, so I wanted to come up with a healthy alternative to a cookie. So we've got some gingerbread protein muffins, complete with icing on top. So these are great to have around as snacks during the holidays, especially when you want that gingerbread flavor, but without all the calories and fat. So let's get started. Okay, so in this bowl here, I've got 2 cups of oat flour. A lot of my baking recipes start off is with oat flour. So we've got that. And then we're also going to use some Kristine Stevia baking formula to keep out the sugar in this recipe. So I'm going to use 1/3 cup of the Kristine Stevia. If you're using packets of stevia, then you'll want to use about 10 to 12 packets. Okay, and then we've got another dry ingredient. Of course, we got to pack in some protein here. So 3 scoops of a low carb, low sugar whey protein. This one I'm using is sweetened with stevia. Stir that around, and then of course, what's gingerbread without ginger? So we need 1.5 teaspoons of ground ginger. I just usually buy it in bulk. So 1 and that's about half of ground ginger. Whew, don't let that get up your nose. You'll sneeze. And now one more dry ingredient is just a pinch of sea salt. Well, maybe a little bit more than a pinch and a bit. This is just a fine ground sea salt that I use, really like it. Okay, so I'm going to stir this around. So for wet ingredients, we've got some applesauce. So we're going to use our applesauce instead of fat. So 1/3 cup of unsweetened applesauce. And need some eggs to hold it all together. So I'm just going to use 3 egg whites, well, the equivalent of 3 egg whites, which is 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. So these are liquid egg whites, so 1/4 cup, and then another couple tablespoons. Great. And then lastly, and then gingerbread. Duh, we can't make gingerbread without some molasses. So this is just 1/3 cup of molasses. This is actually like a blackstrap molasses. Molasses is great. You don't really need to use that much, and it really just lends the gingerbread flavor. And then last is almond milk, which are we using? We're using 1/2 cup of almond milk. So I've got my 1/4 cup here, so I'm just going to use 2 of these. And I like to use the unsweetened almond milk because I just find it delicious, and you don't really need the extra sugar anyway. Because if I want to sweeten something, I've got lovely stevia to do that for me. So now I've got everything in my bowl here, and I'm just going to stir it around and make it into a nice batter. I'm going to grab my muffin tin, and I'll show you how I get them all filled up. Be right back. Hello, so I'm back. I've just sprayed my non-stick muffin tin with cooking spray so they don't stick. And to fill these up, I actually just like to use an ice cream scoop because it's portioned and it makes it really easy. Here's another one. And mine has the little funky scraper thing at the bottom. So then it really does a great job of scraping out all the batter of the bottom. Great. So I'm going to finish filling up my 12 gingerbread muffins, and I'll meet you right back here when they're all done. They're just going to be in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes at 350 degrees. So I'll meet you back here when they're done. Hello, I'm back, and my gingerbread protein muffins are out of the oven, and when they came out, I realized that I made a mistake. I forgot to add baking powder and baking soda to the muffins, so they're a little bit flat. But I don't want to bother to make them again, and I have tested the recipe before, so if you are adding the baking powder and baking soda, they will look like a regular muffin and not a flat little pancake. So hey, you know, I goofed up, but the show must go on, as they say. Okay, so the finishing touch to my gingerbread gingerbread muffins, is a vanilla frosting. And to make this vanilla frosting, it's so super easy. You just take your favorite vanilla protein powder and mix it with a little bit of almond milk, and you just want to add a little bit at a time. Just so you get it like a thick kind of glaze like this. And then I just frost the top of these. And you want to do this when they have a chance to cool down, or else the icing will really run everywhere. So I ice them like this. And then I just store them in the fridge in an airtight container and just grab them to have as snacks. So here they are. My little gingerbread protein muffins. But like I said, if you actually add the baking powder and baking soda like you're supposed to, they'll be actually looking more like muffins. So I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas, and thanks for joining me on Busy But Healthy, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye for now. Let's see how they taste anyway. They still taste good.
For more tips, recipes, and information, please visit busybutthealthy.com.